Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right, hey guys, welcome back to the show. My name is John Harcar, your host, and I'm here with Maranda Tucker, and we're going to discuss how she educates both landlords and agents as far as working with, maybe their rentals. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. We do it by providing tools and resources to build the business they want to build and live the life that they want to live. Miranda, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about some things. And, I already learned something when we were off air. So I'm excited for you to share your knowledge. But before we kind of get into all that, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about you, kind of, what got you into real estate, your experience, and kind of what got you here?
Cool. Yeah. So I have been a broker now here in North Carolina for 6 years, in property management now for 4. And I fell into real estate when I first moved here. I first of all born and raised in Texas, relocated to be with my husband here in Charlotte. And when I got here, I was 23, just graduated college, wasn't really sure what I was doing, and got scooped up by the Core Training, which is a real estate sales platform. They basically train real estate agents and loan officers on how to manage their time, run their business like a business, lead generation, all that good stuff. And so that was my introduction to real estate. And from there, I was watching all of these other people just like me making a lot of money in real estate and thought, why am I not? I can do that. They're doing it. So I think I want to dive in. And so that's when I got licensed and sold real estate for the first few years. And that is a grind. 80-hour work weeks, disrupted vacations. That for me personally just wasn't sustainable. And I know really great real estate agents today whose business model is very different and they are able to protect their time a little bit better. But when you're first getting started, you don't have the luxury to have someone else do your work on the weekends. So, so after I was at my grandfather's funeral and had a client who was disgruntled call me at my grandfather's funeral, I thought, you know what? I don't think I want to do the real estate sales route anymore. And thankfully, a week later, I wasn't looking for it, but a recruiter reached out to me and asked if business development and property management might be something that I would be willing to consider. And the great thing about property management is you don't have to work on the weekends if you have a great team and support systems in place to make it happen. So I get to work Monday through Friday and be at dinner with my kids and have the weekends in the sunshine.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
During the summertime, and so I've been doing that now for 4 years.
It's awesome. What part of
Yeah.
Texas?
So we're barely on the map. It's called Plainview, Texas. It's between Lubbock and Amarillo. My dad was a
Okay.
farmer, so it's just cotton country out there.
Got it.
Lots of
Got it.
dust.
Yeah, no, our company is based out of Dallas, but okay, so you
Yeah,
go to
so I
North.
went to school in Dallas Baptist University, actually.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in Dallas. You moved to North Carolina. Is your husband in real estate or anything like that?
He's not. He's a fireman here.
Okay.
So
What did you study in school?
I studied Christian ministries and psychology,
Okay.
and minored in
And
Spanish. So I'm all over the board.
how did you come across this core thing? You said you just kind of stumbled into it. How did that happen?
I was looking for any job. I was hungry. And so I came across, oh, actually, no, you know what? That's not true. I had just taken a recruiting job here in Uptown Charlotte, and it was sucking the life out of me.
Mm.
My commute into Uptown Charlotte was an hour plus every day, even though I technically only lived 30 minutes away. And it was just a desk job where I was like pressing emails. AI's doing the job that I was doing today for sure.
Right.
So I used my husband's network of friends and asked if any of them could get me a job literally anywhere else. And he was working at the Corps at the time. So he referred me, and I thank goodness I got hired, because it changed the game for me. So
Awesome. Did you have any, because a lot of people that get into real estate might have had, maybe some influences in their life, whether it's family members, whether it's, somebody that is an agent, or maybe had rentals, or did you have any influences in your life that maybe kind of put a seed, unknown seed in your head about real estate?
no. My family, my mom was a single mom of 3 until my stepdad came into the picture a little bit when I was still young, like 7
Mhm.
years old, but
Mhm.
we live paycheck to paycheck, one house. Don't know anyone in my family who owns rental properties or is an agent of any kind. I just got lucky with this connection to the core training. And that's really when I got to be in the room around people way smarter than me
Yep.
and in on the secret. So
And on the secret?
in on the secret of
Oh,
real
in on the
estate.
secret. Oh, I thought like and
Yeah.
on the secret. I'm like, is there a secret?
No,
show?
in on the secret.
In on the secret. Okay. Just so some of our audience that might not be familiar with core, tell them what that is.
Yeah. So basically, if you've ever heard of by referral only, I know Tony Robbins has its own like coaching program, but it's essentially just that. You come in, you get to work with professionals who are already have a proven successful business in real estate or as a loan officer or mortgage broker, and they teach you basically what they did to make
Hmm.
their job successful. So they teach you the time management, lead generation, how to build a team whenever you get to that level of production. And every year they have a couple of events. There's different levels to the coaching company. So I only went to I was only at that company for a year before I dove into real estate myself. So but went to a couple of events where you're just in a room full of people making a lot of money, and they're all just learning, how do I better organize all of this? And so that's what I mean by in on the secret. Is I don't know that people, it's not common knowledge that you just make.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
A lot of money in real estate, the way that you and I would probably know it
Right.
to be, because we're in the rooms and having those conversations every day. And so that was my big eye opener. And the core training is great for anyone who may just need to learn the basics. It's nothing, there's not a big secret. It's the
Right.
basics.
Okay.
Always call
Okay.
people, network, but it just teaches you a little bit more who to call and what to say and who to meet in those rooms whenever you get there. So
And how long was that training? How long were you doing that?
I did that for a year, and I did it as a sales trainer. So they gave me
Okay.
the material,
Oh,
and
cool.
I
Okay.
I was on the bottom level. So there's like 3 different levels to this program. On level 2 and level 3, you get taught by someone who's actually doing it. On level 1, it's you're taught by someone who's giving you the curriculum. So I was given the curriculum, and then I would basically regurgitate that and hold students accountable to make sure they're getting it done. Really fun success story with that though is, although I didn't have the background at that time, I was able to help a realtor who, her and her husband were a duo team, and her daughter had brain cancer. And when she called me, she basically just said, Miranda, like, we are in debt up to our eyeballs with these medical bills, and we don't have the energy or the hope to keep going right now. And I got to help step in and just offer a different perspective, speak a little bit of life into her and her business. And within the year, all of their medical debt had been paid. And it's not by anything I did, clearly. It was just, sometimes you need a different voice and a new perspective to reboot and revitalize. And so
Well,
that's one
that's
of the few.
something.
Well, sure, I guess so. I got to be the mouthpiece, but really she did the hard work.
So
But
talk to me about
that's
some
fun
of
to
the
see.
challenges that you made when you transitioned to going into real estate, being a broker.
Um, yes. So I guess I didn't actually have any challenges up front, to be honest, going into real estate, because I dove in at a time when it was easy. I have not been in the career. I've not been in the career space long enough to go through the dips through the
Mm,
2008s yet. But when I first started, we were just ramping up in 2020. I mean, it was easy to become a real estate agent, to be honest.
there
And
were a lot of people
I,
that became real estate agents at that time. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I knew open houses were a great opportunity to, and this was right before the world shut down. So, open houses, and I was doing 2 every weekend. And I came across my first $1 million buyer. They're relocating here from California. Again, feels pretty lucky,
Hmm.
just to happen to stumble across the right people and get to know them really well. So, in my first year, I did 11 sides, and it was great. But again, it's a lot of work
Yeah.
for a beginner, and it wasn't sustainable. So when I went into property management, and I think this is where we could talk more about the education piece, but the biggest challenges that I've seen have been around getting on the same page as our clients in property management. So, and what I mean by that is when a tenant moves out of a property, they leave it in a certain shape, and we got to get it back to a property standard that is not only acceptable but sets the expectations for that next set of tenants. And some owners don't understand that because they're not doing it every day. So understandably, they're not understanding that how we leave a property or how we hand over a property to the next set of tenants will set the tone for that year. And we want them to stay for more than just 1 year. So they need a great experience up front, in order to increase the opportunity for them to stay longer, especially in the market that we are in now compared to the markets we had been in for the last 4 years. And I think landlords here in Charlotte are just now really starting to feel that shift, because although the shift happened, you know, last year, the year before, we're just now seeing the decrease in rents happening because now tenants are moving out and finding new places, and they're having to find tenants for the first time since.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
The market shift has occurred. So I think we're only just now experiencing the challenges when it
In the
comes to
business or in
the
the
rental
market?
market. In the market.
In the market.
In the
Okay.
market, definitely.
And what challenges are you seeing now?
So MLS, average day on market for MLS right now for all rental properties in the greater Charlotte area is 75 days. And that's pretty high. Again, I think it's because people are putting their house on the market for the first time in a couple of years. And the last time they put their house on the market, they didn't have to do it. You could just, a quick little
Have your
listing,
kids
cell phone
find
snap.
in the yard and it's going to be
Yeah, it was easy to do.
yeah.
And now we have apartment buildings that have since come available in Charlotte. We have the build to rent. North Carolina's number 2 in the nation for the build to rent communities behind Arizona, and Charlotte is the biggest city in North Carolina. So Charlotte's right behind Phoenix, Arizona for the build to rent communities that are popping up out here. So supply is high, the economy's hard. And I don't think owners are realizing that up front when they bring their home to market now, that they have to try a little bit harder to be more competitive, because people do have options now that they haven't had before.
And how are you educating those homeowners on, some of these topics? Like how are you breaching that with them?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of it is through videos. It's the easiest way for us to communicate to our owners at this time. But especially when one of our properties is getting ready for move out, we're already starting that education process then. And we are doing quarterly updates to our owners, and specifically updating owners that are on market twice a week now. So we used to do a leasing update once a week to our owners, where we would get information on, here's how many days on market we are. Here's how many days since the last price change. Here's our feedback. Here's our suggested next move. And it might be we keep the price the same, or it might, because of the interest that we're seeing in the property, or it might be, let's go ahead and improve the price a little bit to increase that interest now. And we'll revisit this on Thursday. So we are doing those leasing updates twice a week now. And since we've started that process, I think it's keeping owners a little bit more involved. But to go back, and I kind of rabbit trailed there, but to go back, that education process starts when tenant gives notice that they are moving out. It's okay. Tenant will give notice that they're moving out. That means when tenant moves out, within 48 hours, we're doing an inspection. It'll be posted to your portal, and we will reach out to you with the quotes in order to get the property rent ready. Once again, please be on the lookout. It's important that we get this done quickly, so that way we can reduce vacancy time. And it starts from there. Once that inspection is posted, I'm now reaching out, getting on the phone call with them and saying, this is what needs to be done. Do you have any questions? If it's just a green light, let's go. It'll get it turned in a week and we'll be back on market. If you have questions, what are they? So I can tell you why we are doing what we are doing. So I think it's just being very hands-on through the process. And because of that, our average day on market right now within our portfolio here in Charlotte is 28 days compared to the market itself at 75 days.
I was
So
going to ask what kind of feedback. I mean, what kind of from the owners that are getting this stuff. Like since you've implemented maybe some of this newer stuff, have you seen that uptick in maybe retention?
well, we've never really had an issue with retention because we're hyper local. We're very
Perfect.
very, and we try up front to not bring on people who don't see eye to eye with us as far as how their property should be managed, because we're not everyone's cup of tea. So, and it's my job specifically to make the right connections with the right people up front. So that way, when it comes to a move out inspection and it comes to getting the property rent ready again, we're not running into a lot of headaches or frustrations, because all of that communication has happened before they ever even came into our portfolio under our management.
Sure.
But I would say I haven't seen an increase in retention just because we're retaining everyone that's not selling their home at this point. We haven't lost an owner that's not selling their home in
Awesome.
in probably 2 years. So
That's awesome.
it
What
yeah.
mistakes are you seeing folks making that aren't with, that aren't working with a company like you or someone, what success, what mistakes are landlords making when they're on that turnover process?
Great question. I think the first mistake that they're making is marketing too soon. When I'm looking at Zillow listings, I'm seeing some people say, it's April now, and they might already be marketing for June, available June 1st. Well, that's a long time away from now. You're
Mm,
marketing to people who need a house now, not people who need a house in June. So whatever momentum you may have with your listing right now, it's going to die off by the time your property is actually available. And now you've accumulated days on market unnecessarily. Oh, and by the way, you've also probably unintentionally pissed off your current tenant because you have people wanting to see the property and now you're trying to show the property while someone's in transition and moving out of that property. So I think that there's a lot to be said about that. And then overpricing the property because they don't realize that the market has shifted. And again, we've seen a decrease in rent here in Charlotte since June of 2023, about 5%. And I'm speaking specifically to long-term rental vacant properties. We've seen that decrease in rent. And they don't realize that because they're not keeping their finger on the pulse all of the time. With when you have just one property or maybe three properties, you're not actively paying attention to what the market's doing because it's not top of mind all the time. You have the three properties. That's why we try so hard to educate our owners because we are whatever they're doing one time, we're doing at times 350. So whatever lesson they're learning that one time, we've learned it 350 times already. So I think that's a huge one. And then of course, just marketing in general, how you position the property on the internet may not have mattered 2 years ago, but now that dark and dingy cell phone picture for your $4,000 a month property may not cut it. And I think that that's a shame. So,
Um, as far as advice like you would give, like let's say someone's not in, they're not in the North Carolina market, right? They're a property management company, they're out in wherever, Phoenix, who knows? What advice would you give maybe some other property management companies that can maybe help them transition to a business kind of like yours, right? To be able to have these things for their landlords.
what do you mean as far
Like
as
what
resources or?
would you what advice could help other landlords in that turnover process? Things that you're doing, right? You think maybe others aren't.
I think I'm not sure. Am I speaking to property managers or speaking
Yes.
to
So
landlords?
property managers right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's maybe putting your foot down a little bit more when it comes to working with the landlord. And I don't mean just bossing them around, but you are hired to protect this asset and you're hired for your expertise in protecting the asset or assets. And so if you say that we should probably paint, we need to do a full repaint of this house. Yeah, it might give the owner a pause because that's a bigger expense than they were expecting. But if they come back and say, well, I'm not going to do that, and that's a red flag to me because you have offered advice based off of what you've seen in the market, what you know will be successful. And if they're not willing to work with you on that, to me, that's a red flag, and that's not someone you want to be working with anyway. When you're first getting started, you kind of just say yes to whoever's needs management. You're just like, yes, yeah, I will manage your property. For how much? 4%? Sure. Why not? Because you're hungry and you got to pay the bills. You got to rent is due on the first. So, at some point though, when you're in the business long enough, you learn you learn the ins and outs of property management that that landlord won't. And so if you either change people or you change people. So either you can educate your clients and kind of put your foot down with that, or they might not be worth the time that the money you're making off of them may not be enough for you to keep working with them. How much is your time worth? And are they sucking up all of your time? So I think the number one thing that we did, we made a goal a couple of years ago to start calling off some of the owners that were just sucking up a lot of our time and causing us a lot of headache. And so when we made that move, it improved the overall morale of our team. And it also gave us the capacity to put the effort into growing the right way with the right people in our portfolio. And I think that made the world of difference. So just having the expectations, I think a big mistake is just saying yes to whatever, but you don't really have an opportunity to say no when you're just getting started or when you're at a certain number.
Now let's talk to landlords, and I want to go back to what we talked about before, right? What things landlords shouldn't do, like don't leave paint cans.
Yeah, that's
Explain
it.
that to me. Why shouldn't we? Because I've done it. Why shouldn't we leave paint cans?
Yeah, great question. So I think the intention behind leaving paint cans out of property is so pure and so nice. So the idea is, man, I'll just stuff these paint cans in a closet, and when you're ready or when you need them, they're there for you, and you have the color, you know exactly what you need. But in time, over the years, paint fades on walls.
Mhm.
And also, your tenants likely are not professional patchers. So you're asking them to go in and patch up a wall and then paint it with paint that may or may not match. And at the end of the day, odds are you're likely left with more work and a more expensive paint job with your professional vendor than you would be if you just if you just took the paint cans out of the property immediately. It's the first thing I
Makes
do when I
sense.
bring on a new property is I look for the paint cans that I know are going to be there and I trash them because we have a great vendor who can come in and professionally color match, and you will never know the difference. You'll never know how long that paint's been on the wall because they color match every time.
Got it.
That's a big one.
What else? What else should landlords not do?
This is more of just a biased, but they will replace light bulbs with light bulbs that are a different color. And it's all in the details. So I'm really picky when I'm walking a property. But if you have, I guess let's back it up. Let's say you buy a house and there's a value add opportunity there. So you can throw in 30,000 and it will increase the value of that property by 100,000 just by doing a little bit of cosmetic work to the property. So before you ever did the cosmetic work, when you're walking that property, you see stains on the carpet and it's disgusting walls that haven't been there, that yellow from early 2000s that haven't been touched, and the light fixtures are brass and need to be replaced, etc. You see a lot of the big stuff. So then you go in and you take care of all the big stuff, but you leave the dingy yellow outlets and you replace the light bulbs with a different color light. Now those things start to matter. So before it was the really big things, but the more you fix, the more the little things become noticeable. And when you have a tenant moving into a property, what you want them to feel is, I want to take great care of this property because this property has obviously been well taken care of. You don't want them to think it's been patched together over time, band-aid after band-aid, like the most cost effective every time. You don't want it to look like the light bulb that was in the back of your car just happened to be in the back of your car, so you're going to use it to replace it even though it doesn't make sense in that place. You want it to feel like here's the expectation you're setting, right? Here's how I want you to take care of this home. It has been well taken care of and we want you to continue to take care of it. And so yeah, I've kind of went on a rampage there with
No,
that one, but
that's okay. That's good. That's good stuff. I mean, that's good to know.
yeah,
I mean, what's the saying they have? The kids in a drip is in the detail, right? It's
something
making
like that.
sure that yes, the details really can make things better. Uh, if I have any property managers that are on here, or there's landlords on here, and let's say that some of the stuff that you talked about resonated with them, what would be the best way that they might be able to get in touch with you? Or if they have properties that they're in North Carolina, they want you to manage, how do they reach out?
Yeah, great question. So I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Bigger Pockets, so you can look me up in the Bigger Pockets directory. I our website is my team is White Property Management. So www.whitepropertymgmt.com.
Perfect. And we'll put all that in the show notes.
Awesome.
So anybody that's listening, you'll have all the links to be able to get in touch with her. Miranda, thank you very much for coming on the show, man. I mean, I appreciate it. Like I said, I love to learn one thing, and now I've learned don't leave the paint cans. Guys,
make sure all the light bulbs are the same color.
Yeah, and change the face plates on the electric sockets. So
yes.
Thank you once again for coming on the show, guys. I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.